name is Travis here. I actually have a couple days off. I normally work evenings, so I watch a lot of your videos during the evenings and I comment. But I thought it's time to engage a little bit more, and I'm actually going to start making a few videos. I don't have nearly as many records as many of you. I probably have less than 600. Not very many at all. I've actually had records for quite some time. Most of the records that I've had for most of my life have been old classical music. Not sure why, other than I've seen go to a sale or something, see them for $1. I don't want to see them get thrown away, so I've grabbed a few now and then. Let me actually get a couple of these. So, and I don't play these, it's more of just to have them, and they're all like sets. And these are old 78s. So, this one's a 250th anniversary album, Bach, Victor, musical masterpiece, and all the records are in here are excellent shape. Every once in a while I'll just put one on there. I mean, 78s. They don't sound all that great, but it's still kind of neat and it's interesting, so I just keep them around rather than they end up in a dumpster or landfill somewhere. I actually only have one record from when I was a kid. That's it. I have some records that my parents handed down, and I'll show you those in a minute, but they're not, you'll see. The one record I've had from when I was a kid, I actually found the actual records in a box a couple weeks ago. No sleeve, no album cover, nothing. It's just the two records themselves. And surprisingly, I mean, they're pretty beat up, but considering how they were stored. But they weren't like totally trash. And when I went to get this tote of these old records that I just showed you, there's probably about 20 albums in there. I found the sleeve for this record that has been separated for about 20 years now. That record, this is the only record from my childhood that I remember getting at Christmas one time, and that is Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. I'm pretty sure most of this book is gone. I remember flipping through this thing so much when I was a kid. The cover's just trash and destroyed. The records are pretty beat up. Considering they were rolling around in a box with a bunch of other books, I don't know, you can probably see it. I mean, there's like surface scratches. I put it on and played it once, and it's not terrible. It definitely needs to be cleaned. I don't know if it'll ever be, but it's just one of those things that that's the only record I had from when I was a kid. And I got this when this movie came out, or at least that Christmas, so this was in like 1980. And I was, I don't know, 11, 12. Just a little side note there. Pretty interesting. I'm glad I found that one because I really didn't have any other good records, like, you know, children's stories from my mom, and that weren't all that great. So, speaking of those records, my parents, my mom was a school teacher, so most of the records that we had had to be educational. And she also a piano player at her church, so it was either gospel music or something. I only have a few records that they had when they were from that time, and they are historical records. They're all like narrated history, time life history of the United States, the Union restored, the New World, the growing years. I guess this is like a 6-record set. They're out of order, but I've listened to them. It's kind of interesting if you like history, but it's like I'm just keeping them because that's the only records I have from my parents that I would actually consider listening to. The only record I have that I know was my dad's, and he denies it to this day, but it came from their house and somebody bought this. Yeah. Papa. Brass band from Baden-Baden. And it is Baden-Baden. Actually, it's not that good. It's just marching. It's just kind of funny. He's like, that is not mine. I'm like, well, you know, I don't know where else it would have come from. And when all of us kids went down there to clean out the house when they moved out of state, these are the only records that I grabbed out of there that didn't go to the dump. So I just got a few other things to show you. My music tastes range all over the place. I have everything. I have classical music. Most of actually what I have is classical. But then I also have hard rock. I have some metal. Depeche Mode. I have modern stuff. A lot of jazz. I like jazz, particularly what you hear in Dixieland and swing. That's probably what I prefer to listen to the most. I like, you know, hard bop and a lot of the other stuff. But I find myself just, you know, why would you not want to have Mardi Gras in your house every day if you could? So I'm just going to show a couple things of what I found recently. Nothing too crazy. It's just some kind of interesting things. So one thing, I know these are around. I've seen them before. But it just so happens that I was at a thrift store and I ran across this particular one. And I've never actually seen one of these live or in my hands. I've seen them on YouTube and videos before. And I just so happened to look at the date on this one, and it couldn't have been a better choice. This was meant to be with me because this aired the weekend of my graduation, or the weekend before my high school graduation. And that is American Top 40 with Casey Kasem. May 28th, 1988. Graduation from high school. What a crazy couple weekends that was around there. And this is actually pretty neat. It's if you've never seen one of these, it's got 4 discs in it, 4 albums. These are like perfect shape. And you know, they sound good. They have the commercials on and everything. It's the whole show from front to beginning. And it also has this handy little director programming guide. And you know, it talks about, I guess there was like some big JCPenney sale going on that weekend, and they didn't want you to play certain commercials until after 3 o'clock on Sunday. So they had notes in there. And it has the whole list of what track, what songs, what place they were. Number 38 was New Sensation in Excess that weekend, I guess. Number 36, Beds of Burning Midnight Oil. Let's kind of skip through and see what, I don't even remember what the number one. 1988, it was getting to be where the good songs weren't at the top right there. Let's see here. Number 6, always on my mind, Pet Shop Boys. What do you know? Number 5, I Don't Want to Live Without You, Foreigner. Naughty Girls, Need Love Too, Samantha Fox was number 4. Anything for You, Gloria Estefan's number 3. Number 2, Shattered Dreams, Johnny Hates Jazz. And the number 1 song on May 28th, 1988, that weekend, was One More Try, George Michael. But anyway, this is kind of neat. I'm so glad I found this because it was like great reminder of a very fun time in my growing up, and a lot of good songs on here, and it had the right date, and it was $1.99, so you can't really beat that. I was so excited when I got. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with that. Like I said, I like jazz music, and I don't really have a whole lot. And what I've what I do find, you know, I've got some that I've bought. Nothing, you know, I actually have a couple Blue Notes that I found in a thrift store. Some Thad Jones and other stuff. We'll show that on another time, but most of my records are actually jazz. A lot of it's Dixieland, like I said, and then a lot of it's swing. I did run across a record here. This is actually part of a large set, and after I got this and listened to it, if I was ever to be like a completist for like a series of records, this might be one, but I need to listen to some of theirs to find out. So what this is it's a series of 46 records, and I gather it's like to help people learn how to play jazz and learn how to play in a jazz quartet or whatever. This is like backing tracks of the day for jazz. And this particular one, number 40, is Round Midnight. It's got favorite standards include I'll Let You Know, If I Love You Again, September in the Rain, Love for Sale, Lullaby, Birdland, Round Midnight, Time for Love, Early Autumn, you know, and a bunch of others. And all it is bass, drums, and a piano, and just grooving for 2 records. The only strange thing is there's like sections in it, and each time they get to one of the sections, they count down 1, 2, 3, and then they play. So, but it's awesome. I love it. I wonder if the rest of them are like it. It looks like some of these. They're Volume 11's Herbie Hancock. So, anybody have any of these, and if you've listened to any of the others, tell me if they're the same, if they're worth looking for. I'd be interested in that Volume 11 Herbie Hancock. Volume 13 Cannonball Adderley. Volume 7 Miles Davis. That'd be interesting. Woody Shaw, Dave Barker, Jimmy Rainey. Interesting. I love it. Same place I bought that one for exact same time, as a matter of fact, and this was $1, so that one's $1.99. American Top 40. So, and the last thing I'm going to show is the one part of my record collection I don't really have, and I just not been exposed to that much. Actually, where I live, I shouldn't say that. From where I live, there's actually a lot of folk music around here. But as far as like growing up and listening to music, I've never owned any folk music. I couldn't even tell you any folk music artists at all. And I was at a thrift store, and they had a whole bunch of cassette tapes for 10 for $1, so 10 cents each. And I just grabbed anything that looked interesting. That's got a couple bucks worth. And one of the tapes I have, I didn't bring it here, it's over there. I listened to it, and I'm like, wow, I have got to see if this individual has a vinyl album out. And I did some looking. I found one on Amazon, and I picked it up, and I cannot get enough of this guy. This is just, it's a guy in his guitar telling stories and singing songs about the sea. That is Gordon Bok. And this is with Ann Mayo singing. There's a couple songs that she's singing on, but for most of them it's just him and his guitar. And this guy is great. I mean, it's like, I would never think that I would talk about a folk artist before, or even a folk record, but my car actually still has a tape player hiding behind the screen. Comes down, there's got a tape player hiding, and I have been playing that tape non-stop in the car. I'm gonna have to make a recording of this and put on my phone and take out there. So I bought this on Amazon. I actually bought 2 of them. They're similar. They got some of the same songs on all of these. I don't know if you can see that. Gordon Bok. If you like folk songs and you like just storytelling guitar music, awesome. You can't really beat that. And so I just decided I'm just going to put in a few videos up, and I don't know what, you know, I don't really have a whole lot of records to show. I don't have, you know, I don't have a bunch of Miles Davis or anything like that. I do have a lot of interesting ones that I like, and my tastes range all over the place. So we'll see what happens, and I'm gonna. The goal for my video is just gonna be just quick, just talk about a record or two that I like, and talk about the music, maybe a little bit about the artist. But other than that, I don't really see sitting here showing a whole bunch of records of ones that I've purchased. But we'll see what happens. This is new. This is my first video, so we'll see how it goes. I've actually commented on a lot of your videos, and I'm subscribed to quite a few of you under a different name. When I decided to make videos, I needed a new name because I didn't want to use my other one. That's the YouTube name I've had for 10-15 years, when way back when YouTube was still, you know, getting to be a thing. Maybe even 20-some years ago. It's been a long time. Anyway, I started a new name, and gonna start some new videos. I'm gonna try and do one a week or so. They're gonna be like not more than 10 minutes. And I'm just going to talk about some cool records. And the thing is, I think I'm going to talk about records that are interesting to me. That may not be interesting to you, but I find, you know, I can watch a whole bunch of videos about the same records all the time. I'm going to try and talk about records that nobody else will talk about, and some things that nobody else will talk about. So don't be surprised if you end up seeing some oddball Herb Alpert ones, not the common ones, but some other oddball ones, and Artie Shaw in one video, or Benny Goodman, Pete Fountain, or some of the jazz artists. You know, we'll see what happens. I did have one new record. This just came in the mail today. And I'm going to show this just because, like I said, my musical tastes are all over the place. And there's some new artists that I'm got in the mail coming right now. This one I really like. I'm sure you all know who this is. But if you haven't listened to any of her music, pick it up. The albums sound really good. This one is not my favorite of hers, but it's still, I want to get the whole set as she puts them out on vinyl. And you know, this is at the age where, you know, it's still, everyone's still feeling out if they want to dip their toe into releasing their work on vinyl, as well as streaming, all the places that they stream. And not all of hers is on vinyl. A lot of it is, or some of it's starting to come out. But as all of them come out, I will. That is Lindsey Sterling. She's great. I love her. I saw her in concert when she very first started. She was like still going to school, and just a little rinky-dink concert, and just amazing. If you ever get a chance to see her live, it's really good. I mean, everyone knows, you know, she plays really good. But anyway, that's all for right now. So I'll talk to you in the future. Nice to meet all you. I've been commenting on your videos. Drop me a comment if you want. I know this first video, it's kind of like bumbling all over the place, but I'm going to try and keep my editing down to a minimum. I don't want to have to go through and do that. I didn't do enough of that in other things where I just want to throw these out informal like, and just have a chat about the cool vinyl finds or the cool things I'm listening to right now. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.